Hello and welcome to Between the Lines. I'm Glenn Mann.
And I'm Matt Vito.
On today's show, we will be getting you caught up on what happened over the weekend with the Weekend Update and take you in the locker room with the swim team and men's ice hockey.
We will join Tyler in the pool for halftime and visit you with BTL's pick for Player of the Week, Madison Kleinfelter for women's volleyball.
Stay tuned. BTL is next. Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Weekend Update. I'm Glenn Mann, joined by my host Matt Vito. So without further ado, let's get things rolling. All right, Matt, we're going to start things off with the football team today, where they hosted East Stroudsburg this past weekend in their Pink Zone game and came out on top in a convincing fashion by a score of 41-9. So how did we get to that point, Matt?
Well, Colin DeGalbo, he was the star of the game for the Golden Bears, and he tossed up 4 touchdowns, finishing with 351 yards in the game. He was named the PSAC East Player of the Week. On the ground, it was Evan Culver who led the team in rushing yards with 101 yards on 14 carries, as well as a touchdown. The leading receiver for the Golden Bears was Amadou Berry, who finished with 7 catches for 161 yards and 2 touchdowns. Defensively, Tajir Jefferson led the team in tackles with 10, and also 1 sack. Jake Perry also came away with an interception.
So a complete team effort all around. Very good to see there from the Golden Bears. And looking ahead for them, they will be traveling to Lock Haven to face the Bald Eagles on Saturday, October 21st at 1 p.m. This is a game with a lot of playoff implications as the top 4 teams in the PSAC East are all within 1 game of each other. So we'll be rooting for our Golden Bears to pull away from the pack. Moving along to the women's soccer team, where we had some good and some bad this weekend, where they traveled to Mansfield on Friday and then came home to face IUP on Sunday. So how did the game go, Matt?
Well, on Friday, the Golden Bears won a convincing contest against Mansfield by a score of 6-0. Shut them out. There were 6 different goal scorers for Kutztown, too, as well as just one 48 seconds into the game. On Sunday, though, that weekend, Kutztown unfortunately lost their other matchup, and it's their first loss of the season. So
against IUP, they unfortunately snapped their 13-0 record and didn't get to 14 games in a row. They were unable to get anything going offensively, and IUP was just hitting on all cylinders. Kind of caught the Golden Bears off guard, but all is well. Still a 13-1 record, still the best team in the PSAC, and still the 4th-ranked team in the country. So all is well on that front. And looking ahead for the team, they will be heading to East Stroudsburg tonight, actually, to face the Warriors at 7 p.m., which is another playoff implication game because East Stroudsburg is not too far behind. They've been having a very good season as well. Moving along to the women's volleyball team, the Golden Bears had 2 consecutive games in as many days. This weekend, one on Friday and one on Saturday. They played against Lock Haven on Friday and then University of Pitt Johnstown on Saturday. So tell us how the matches went, Matt.
Well, Kutztown defeated Lock Haven for its first victory of the season, or actually in the past 7 matches. Jessica Howe and Brittany Moore led their way with 13 and 12 kills respectively. Unfortunately, the Golden Bears were unable to make it to 2 wins in a row the following day against a very talented Pitt Johnstown team.
Looking ahead for the Golden Bears, they will be traveling to Westchester and try to pick things up. They will also face Cheney, both on the road on Friday and Saturday for some more PSAC action. Moving along to the women's golf team. The women's golf team traveled to Stroudsburg this past weekend to participate in the ESU Invitational. So how did they do, Matt?
Well, as a team, the Golden Bears finished first overall against the field of father teams. Leading the Golden Bears was Rebecca Graham, finishing first overall amongst 29 golfers. It was her very first victory of the season.
The Golden Bears will now be gearing up to participate in the PSAC Championships. They have won 3 events as a team and have had many top 5 finishes amongst each player individually. So good looks for them. And then finally, just a little note to add about the cross-country team. Both the men's and women's cross-country teams, they didn't have anything this past weekend, but this upcoming weekend, They will be traveling to Center Valley, Pennsylvania to participate in the PSAC Championship, so we'll all be rooting for them.
Of course.
That's all the news that we have for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining us, and be sure to stay tuned for more Between the Lines.
After every Golden Bears home game, you can save big on the following Monday. For every touchdown the Golden Bears score, shoppers can save 5% on KU apparel. That's up to 40% in savings. No matter if it's win or lose, you can expect to save at least 15% on KU apparel. Make sure to take advantage of the Paw Pucks discount by visiting the KU campus store, Dixon Marketplace, or online at kubstore.com. Stay up to date after each game. Follow the KU campus store on Facebook or Twitter.
We don't just spark minds. We set them on fire. We don't just teach. We inspire.
It's on us.
To stand up to those who tell us it's not our business.
To be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
To take reports of sexual assault seriously.
It's on us to never blame the victim.
To create an environment where everyone feels and is safe.
It's on us, the entire Kutztown University family,
to stop sexual assault.
I took the pledge, and you can too, at itsonus.org.
Welcome to Between the Lines. I'm your host, Tyler Mann, here at halftime with Katarina and Rachel from the women's swim team. Diving right into the questions, no pun intended. How long have you two been at this sport?
Like 17 years-ish.
16 years.
What initially got you interested?
I don't know. My dad kind of just threw me in the deep end of a diving well and said, good luck. So I guess I kind of had to learn how to swim.
Well, literally going in head first, I guess.
Exactly.
How about you, Katarina? How did you get into it?
My sister was taking swim lessons and my parents wanted me to as well. And then we just both joined a swim team.
What is your major here at Kutztown?
My major is paralegal and history.
I'm public administration and political science and history minor.
That sounds like quite a heavy workload. What is the most challenging thing you could think of as far as staying on top of work with school and balancing what you have to do for the swim team?
Definitely figuring out like your time management is a huge deal when you're practicing for as long as we usually do every day and waking up early and stuff. So
yeah, we definitely can't procrastinate with stuff.
You definitely have to have a balanced workload to get through this.
Yeah.
So I understand you are going to show me how to do these techniques that you use to do swimming. Am I correct?
Yes.
So what exactly are you going to show me today?
We're definitely going to show you how to dive, how to start, maybe work on some flip turns, making sure your stroke's right, hand placement, that kind of stuff.
Well, let's dive right in. a great deal or two about swimming today. Hopefully, if a male team is ever introduced here at Kutztown, I can join. That's it for this week's halftime. I'll see you at the half.
Hello, and welcome to Between the Lines. I'm here with Gabe and Brian. How you guys doing?
Good.
They're from the Kutztown Golden Bears hockey team, and I'll be asking them a few questions today. So, you guys you guys finished last season in the championship. You guys weren't expected to be there. You guys upset Lafayette 3-0 to make it to the championship. And you guys were the underdog going in. You fell short. That's all good. You guys gave a good effort. But this season, you guys started off pretty slow on a characteristic. You guys are 1-6. Can you guys give me an idea of what's going on this year?
Yeah, well, so far we're a younger team this year. We got new leadership in right now. We lost 2 great leaders that we had last year and seniors that graduated. So right now we're kind of just looking to bounce back. We got a younger goalie, and we're kind of just trying to get the ball rolling right here and figure out what kind of team we are going into the season.
Do you guys have faith that you guys can turn the season around?
Oh yeah, definitely. 100%.
What are your guys' personal goals, Gabe? What are your personal goals for the season?
Personal goals, I was recently named captain of our ice hockey team this year, and as a junior, it's one of the biggest honors. It's something that I've wanted since I was a freshman coming in here. So to me, I just want to be the best leader I can be every day and find a way to make our program better than itself.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, and, feed off what Gabe said, I'm just trying to, I play defense, there's only 6 defensemen, so I'm trying to be the leader between all 6 of us and just up my play a little bit.
And how is the team chemistry? How is the team in the locker room? How you guys get along?
We get along pretty well. Like all the dudes on the team are a bunch of everyone's a character on that team. But on and off the ice, there's not a group of guys that I get along with better, really.
And speaking of the team, what are the team goals the rest of the way?
Team goals, realistically, is just to turn around what's going on right now. I know we're having a tough time right here, but it's not a spot that we haven't been in before or are uncomfortable with dealing with adversity. So realistically, just looking to get this season turned around, get moving in a positive direction, because I know everyone's still focused on playoffs down the line.
Yeah, hopefully that ends up going well. Hopefully we get to the playoffs, and hopefully we make an impact in the playoffs. You guys had a game next week on Sunday against Penn State Berks, but it has been postponed. So your next matchup is October 21st against Lafayette College. What are you guys going to do to prepare for that game in the next coming weeks?
Everything right now is focused on that. I mean, like we said, we're having a rough start, so everything is focused on taking it one game at a time, realistically. Lafayette is a huge rival with us. Them, Bloomsburg, and us, we really don't get along well, so we have past history. So I know everyone, including the young guys, they're ready to work, and that's all we're focused on right now.
All right, yeah, hopefully the season turns around for the Golden Bears and we can just make an impact in the playoffs like you did last year. Hope we can get back to the championship. That'd be ideal.
Absolutely.
But that's all for Between the Lines. Stay tuned.
We don't push you to your limit. We obliterate it. We build character. Character builds success.
At Kutztown, you'll grow, not into someone new, but into yourself. At your best, there's no limit to what you can do.
It's on us to take responsibility for our actions and our inaction.
To do something to get in the way of a sexual assault.
To keep an eye on someone in a vulnerable situation.
It's on us to never blame the victim.
To take reports of sexual assault seriously.
It's on us to hold our friends accountable.
It's on us, all of us, to stop sexual assault.
I took the pledge, and you can too, at itsonus.org.
I'm Madison Kleinfelter. I'm a dual major in marine science with a track in biology and biology with a track in organismal ecology, and I'm the player of the week. I've played for a really long time. I've obviously played 4 years at collegiate, and then I started club when I was 16, and then I started just messing around with volleyball since the 5th grade. My mom was a really big fan, and at first I loved it. And then right before I went to high school, I decided, no, I'm going to play soccer. I like soccer better. And when I moved to Pennsylvania, my dad's like, hey, soccer's in a different season. Did you want to play volleyball? I said, sure. And once I decided that I had a little bit of talent, I just kind of ran with it, and I quit everything else and I started playing volleyball. My favorite part is the team bonding that goes on. When you spend literally every single day with a big group of people, you just get really close and you're pretty much like a family, and that's probably my favorite part. We do extensive film. We watch tons of film, we practice everything that goes on in that film, and we critique ourselves as well. We watch film of ourselves, and throughout the week, we just focus really hard on who we're going to play next. My biggest inspiration would definitely be my dad. He has a really bad disease, but every single day he pushes through it and he tries to make everybody else around him better. And he's my #1 fan. He's always constantly texting me, hey, how are you feeling? Hey, how's school? How's practice? And I absolutely love him. One of the thrilling moments was probably during my freshman year. My other co-captain this year, both of us were freshmen, and we were playing a really good team. It was their homecoming. They'd just gotten a really big banner for winning PSAC the prior year, and he threw my teammate in. My coach did, threw her in, very last point for her to serve, and I don't think she'd played the entire game. And we ended up winning, and there was a huge dog pile at the end, and it was just a lot of fun. I chose Kutztown. One, we have a really good marine science program. The oceanography track was ranked #1 in the country for quality. So just the experience that I would get to do, all the field work that I get was really important. Playing volleyball was icing on the cake. Having an athletic scholarship definitely helped out since I'm paying for college, and just being so close to home. My parents come to every game, every weekend, which is really nice just for the support.
Hello and welcome to the locker room, where today I am joined by the women's swimming head coach, Tim Flannery. Thank you very much for joining us, Coach.
Thanks for having me.
So without further ado, let's get things rolling with this interview. And the first thing I want to talk to you about, Coach, is that you had that relay carnival not too long ago. So I want you to tell us, and tell me and the fans back home, how you think that the team did. Did you meet expectations that you had setting beforehand, so on and so forth?
We exceeded expectations. One of the things, like when we compared this meet this year to last year, we were way ahead of what we did as far as relays were concerned. Our butterfly relay was 9 seconds faster than it was from the previous year. The backstroke relay was about 8 seconds faster. The only relay that we did not go faster, and we only went slower by about 0.4 of a second, was the 800 free relay.
Nice.
So
good across the board then for the team.
Yeah, it was good across the board. The biggest thing with the relay carnival, it's all about racing at this point in time of the season, because they're still getting their endurance up. They're still working on it, even though we're going into the first dual meet this weekend. But yeah, it was a good indicator where we are right now at this point in the season.
So in a sport like swimming, reps are obviously extremely important, just to keep, if for nothing else, keep your stamina and endurance up, like you had mentioned. So it's good to see that the girls are already exceeding what they had done last year when they're not even in top form, not even in mid-season form. So that's always a good, encouraging sign. And then moving ahead, you guys have Mr. Cordia and ESU in a tri-meet. So what would you say your expectations for that meet is going to be?
It's going to be tough. It always is tough with East Stroudsburg on the women's side. They're very strong in the sprints. One of the things that when I was looking at the lineup, the potential lineup, we're pretty solid in the distance events. We're good in the backstroke. We're good in the butterfly. But it's just going to all be a matter of how we can kind of lessen the bleeding in the sprint events.
Okay, so when you're talking about moving forward into this season, you have some returners, you have some new girls. I want you to tell me one girl that everybody should be looking up to, and then there's one freshman or a sophomore maybe that's improved over the year, or even a transfer that you think is somebody that the fans back home should be paying attention to.
Well, Claire Frank, she was our MVP last year, and I think Claire is very determined to try to get up higher in the PSACs. She was in basically the bonus final in all her events last year, inside the top 24. Now, I think this year she's been swimming very strong. Her goal is to get into the top 16, possibly get into the top 8 in maybe one or two events.
And what events might those be?
The 400 IM and the 200 IM.
Okay.
So she's been swimming really well, and her backstroke's come along as well too. You know, people to look out for. We've got 4 very good freshmen this year.
Okay.
We have Lindsay Brenneman from Dover Area High School, and Lindsay is kind of nursing a little bit of elbow tendonitis right now, but she should be able to overcome that fairly soon. But she was a state finalist last year in the 500 and the 200 freestyle, so that's going to help us a whole lot. Jocelyn Sipe from locally in Wilson High School.
Okay.
I think Jocelyn, I think her best days of swimming are right in front of her right now, and I think she's really going to surprise herself how she's going to do this year.
Well, awesome. You got some leadership. You got some up-and-coming freshmen. You got a nice little mix going here. Now, Coach, I want to put the question to you. We're going to throw it back a year or two, back to when you first discovered swimming. What made you get into the world of swimming? Gotta know.
My older brother and my older sister.
They both swam?
They both swam in front of me, and of course, being the pain in the butt younger brother, I wanted to do what they wanted to do. So I got into swimming back in 1972, and most likely, probably at that point in time, it was Mark Spitz was Michael Phelps back then.
Gotcha.
So everybody wanted to be Mark Spitz, and that's probably how I got into swimming.
Okay, so you got into swimming then, and then when did you first start to think that, I want to pursue this for the rest of my life. I want to be a coach? You
know, when I got out of college, I didn't want to be a coach. I didn't.
Wow, okay.
And the first thing I was offered was a coaching position at a small age group club in Manchester, New Hampshire. It was brand spanking new.
Okay.
And I got into it and I got to meet a lot of good coaches. In fact, at that point in time, I got to meet a guy named Mike Parada.
Okay.
And he was the head coach at the Seacoast Swim Association in Dover, New Hampshire. And at that point in time, he was coaching Jenny Thompson, who is basically the most decorated gold medalist in women's swimming.
Ever? Yeah.
Pretty much.
So
even
Michael
though
Phelps of the women.
Right, and
Okay.
she was 14 years old at the time.
Wow.
So and she swam. She's now a anesthesiologist up in Boston. But the thing is, that kind of gave me the fever, and that after that year of coaching, I kind of decided, I think this is the path I'd like to do, but I'd like to do it at the college level.
Okay, so did you skip right to the college level, or did you have any high school in there?
No, I had to go back to, I went back to graduate school at Springfield College, and then I did that for 2 years where I was a grad assistant for the Springfield men's team. And then from there, I was lucky enough to get a job at the U.S. Naval Academy.
Well, congratulations. That brought you here, most importantly, to me. So, and now, one other question I want to ask you. We had talked a little bit about goals and expectations. What would you say as an overall team, no individual players, what would you say for yourself as the coach is the overall goal that you want to set for the team into this season?
I think I've already had this discussion with them, but I want to see them work as a team.
Okay.
One team, where they, basically, they take care of each other, making sure kids are doing, older kids are making sure the younger kids are doing the right thing, doing it well. But the thing is, I want to see that competitive fire, which I think has been lacking for a little bit. And, where we are in the conference, we've got tough meets. We're going to have a tough meet with East Stroudsburg. We're going to have a very tough meet with Cal coming up. Millersville is always on the horizon as well, too. And we swim LIU Post, and they're probably going to be ranked inside the top 20 of Division II.
Wow.
So I want to see then be able to compete against those teams. And I think we're well on our way right now. So we're going to find out this weekend how we do. It's going to be, right up at East Stroudsburg's home pool, so that's always going to be tough. But I just want to see them, I want to see them work as a team.
Sounds awesome to me, Coach. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Everybody, thank you for joining us in the locker room, and be sure to stay tuned for more Between the Lines.
It's on us to look out for someone who has had too much to drink.
To get someone home safely if he or she needs help.
To call non-consensual sex what it is, sexual assault.
To create an environment where everyone feels and is safe.
It's on us to hold our friends accountable.
To get in the way if we see something happening.
It's on us, all of us, to stop sexual assault.
I took the pledge, and you can too, at itsonus.org.
We don't just spark minds. We set them on fire. We don't just teach. We inspire.
Thanks for joining us today. Be sure to join us next week when we will spend some time with men's and women's cross country.
Until then, be sure to like us on Facebook, follow KU TV Sports on Twitter, and for all updates on KU Sports, head on over to KUBears.com.
That's it for us, but remember, outside the lines, you only get the scores.
But here at Between the Lines, we get you in the locker room.